Welcome to week 10 of Fantasy Help Desk presented by Current Technologies. My name is Ramon Bassett and my partner Brennan Lembrecht.
Howdy, folks.
And we are back for a huge week, NFL action, and more importantly, fantasy football action.
You know, that's absolutely right, Ramon. It was a big week. We had a lot of things happening.
Crazy.
Cam Newton is back.
Oh my goodness.
Odell Beckham is in LA. We had stunning upsets all over the place, both the Dolphins and the Washington football team with big wins.
Yeah.
And we even had a tie in Pittsburgh.
Crazy.
It was a weird week. So we're here to help you digest all the news and the big moves from the past week, and we're here to see what's news and what's just noise.
Right, yeah, and separating that news from noise is important in fantasy football. Mm-hmm. However, it is even more important to have that separation when it comes to your business. And one of the biggest areas where that is blurred is on your IT network.
Right. Sometimes it's just easier to let the professionals handle it. And that's what we do at Current Technologies with our network monitoring solutions.
We specialize in turnkey solutions that would be the network monitoring service. And that will position you as a proactive. We're proactively monitoring your network, protecting your network from attacks. Right. And we identify it early before it happens, and we will actually look for signs of something that's not quite right. And we'll stop it in its tracks so that you never miss a beat.
Right. Proactive is always better than reactive, especially in IT. Now let's kick this show off. I'd say the biggest news you could debate between two, but I think the bigger news is Cam Newton is back in Carolina.
Crazy, wow.
He returned to the team that he won an MVP with. He took him to the Super Bowl in 2015, and he's finally back. He had 11.7 fantasy points, and he recorded both a rushing and a passing touchdown. You know, the Panthers coaching staff made a conceited effort to really get him involved this week, despite only being around the team for a couple practices. That's a great sign for future usage, I believe. Well, they still haven't named Newton the starter for next week. I think he's projected to be the starter just about everywhere. The Panthers have 3 upcoming games against lesser competition in the Washington football team, the Dolphins, and the Falcons. All 3 of those defenses rank in the bottom third of the NFL in defending the quarterback. I think maybe in 2 QB leagues he might be a viable QB2. I'd be anxious to start him at QB1 yet, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on there.
Right, yeah. Coach Rule said that he wants Cam, full Cam, not Cam light, but full Cam, and he's going to give him as much opportunity, and he says he can do it if he can keep his eyes on football, and he believes he is.
All right, I like that.
Yeah.
Also, I'd say right there, 1A maybe, the second biggest news, Odell Beckham Jr. is a Los Angeles Ram. In his first game Monday night in LA, OBJ only played about 15 snaps, hauling in 2 catches for 18 yards. I mean, it's not a great opening performance. It's about on par with what he was doing in Cleveland, though. It couldn't have been much worse. I think it can really only get better from there, especially with Robert Woods being out with the ACL injury. The Rams offense is going to need to get him integrated quickly. If you stuck with him through all of his time in Cleveland, I think hopefully if you stick with him longer, you will start to reap some of those benefits.
Yeah. That brings us to Julio Jones, headed back to the IR.
Yep.
Now, he's been dealing with his hamstring since week 3, and so this is going to have him miss a minimum of 3 games. And with the bye week, they
13,
had week 13. I mean, we're not going to see him until at least December 12th. But this does increase the value of Titans receiver A.J. Brown. Now, that A.J. Brown has come up multiple times during this season. So if you're looking to either trade or trade for Brown, now might be the time.
I definitely agree with that assessment. Last up on the list of big news from this previous week, Russell Wilson returned. And it was a bad return. For the first time in his NFL career. It was It was his 150th game, and for the first time in his NFL career, the Seahawks were shut out in the game that he started. Wilson went 20 for 40 on passes, putting up a QBR of 39.7.
Jeez, that is low.
By far the worst game in his career. I don't see the need to press the panic button quite yet, as the Seahawks have some upcoming games against lesser competition. But an uncharacteristically bad performance from Wilson, it begs the question, did he get rushed back too soon? I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
But it's something to keep an eye on, definitely.
Yeah, I even heard some rumors, possibly the Browns next year. They're saying, Matt, saying that might not be a good fit. So we'll see.
That's another thing to keep an eye on. So thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode of Fantasy Help Desk presented by Current Technologies. If you guys like this content, go ahead and let us know by liking and sharing. And if you have any topics you'd like to see us cover in upcoming weeks, go ahead and drop those in the comments and we'll get to them.
Yes, and the Fantasy Help Desk is brought to you by Current Technologies. Please follow us on all our social media platforms. You can search with Current Technologies Corporation. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and reach out to us for all your IT and physical needs. Until next week, stay safe.